Hey everyone, it's time for our Southern California housing market update, where we're going to be going through some graphs and data and just in general talking about what's going on here in the Southern California housing market. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the relatively near future, this is all going to be really helpful information for you. And if you are thinking about buying or selling, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have and let you know what I can do to help. You can find all of my contact information in the description below. My name is Tim Hamilton with StellarQuest Real Estate, and if you prefer to call, you can also call our office phone number here and get a hold of one of us that way as well. So let's get into it here, and we're going to start with our graphs from InfoSparks, and this is looking at residential single-family homes, condos, and townhomes. And we've got some of the four major counties here in Southern California. We're going to be going through and just quickly touching on what's going on in each county. And so first we're looking at new listings. So this is the total number of homes that were listed for sale in the month. And we're looking back at data from September here. And so you can see we actually did get a slight uptick in new listings in Los Angeles County and Riverside County. And in Orange County and San Diego County, we did still continue to see slight declines, which is actually normal for this time of year. Once we get through the summer market, in the fall and winter months, we typically see a lot less activity in the housing market. But in general, we do have roughly the same number of new listings coming on compared to a year ago. So in Orange County, it was down 6.6%, so less new listings than last year. Los Angeles County was up 0.8%, San Diego County down 4.1%, and Riverside County up 0.7%. So for a lot of this year, we were actually seeing more new listings coming on compared to a year ago, and so we're kind of starting to drop down below those levels from last year. And mortgage rates coming down should give a boost to the number of new listings coming on the market, but the interest rates coming down compared to the new listings, that does tend to have a little bit of a delayed effect because it takes a lot longer to plan a move when you also have a home to sell. Whereas with buyers, when rates come down, we typically see an immediate impact and boost in buyer demand, because buyers, if they don't have a home to sell, they can pull the trigger right away without all those extra steps involved in getting their home sold. And then here, looking at active listings, in most counties, we have more homes on the market compared to last year. And you can see all the counties are declining on a month-over-month basis, which, as I mentioned before, it is normal that we'll start to have less listings moving into the end of the year. Typically, the total number of homes for sale peaks sometimes in the late summer or early fall. So in Orange County, we have 9.6% more homes on the market compared to last year. Los Angeles County, 9.1%. San Diego County is the only one with less, down 5%, and Riverside County is up 3.4%. And then moving on here, we're looking at the total number of closed sales. Now with closed sales, this is counting a sale that closes in that month. So typically this is an indication of buyer demand from a month earlier, because most escrows, typically range between 21 and 30 days is kind of a standard escrow time frame right now. And we are seeing more closed sales. We are seeing a slight uptick and strong demand because mortgage rates had dropped. So in Orange County, we have 12.5% more closed sales compared to a year ago. Los Angeles County up 11.3%, San Diego County up 10.6%, and Riverside County up 6.4%. And then we will look at the month's supply of inventory next. And so what this data is telling you is if no new listings hit the market today, at today's current buying pace, how long would it take all those homes to sell? So a lower number here means the market is hotter and more in favor of sellers, and a higher number means that the market is slower and typically more in favor of buyers. And you can see that the month supply of inventory has been dropping recently, and that's because mortgage rates dropped. And as I was mentioning earlier, you get a big bump in buyer demand when mortgage rates drop and a delayed effect in the number of new listings. So typically the market heats up. And so looking at here in Orange County, the month supply is at 3.1. And so that's actually a little bit slower than the same time last year, even though we have seen it come down recently. That's 6.9% higher. In Los Angeles County, it's at 4.3 months, 10.3% higher. San Diego County at 3 months, which is actually slightly hotter than it was last year, down 9.1%. And Riverside County is at 4.2 months, 2.4% higher than last year. And now we're going to take a look at the median sales price, which I somehow forgot to include in my last little cheat sheet there. And we can see that median home price is starting to increase again on a month-over-month basis in Orange County and Los Angeles County, while we're still seeing slight declines in San Diego County and Riverside County. But overall, all these counties are still up on a year-over-year basis. So in Orange County, the median sales price was $1,184,025, which is up 2.9% from a year ago. Los Angeles County at $911,400, up 3.6% from a year ago. San Diego County at $890,000, up 0.6%. And Riverside County at $595,000, up 0.8%. Now, median sales price gives us a really quick way to look at what home prices are doing, but really a better way to look at home prices is to look at a home price index, and we will be taking a look at a few of those later on in this video. And then our last InfoSparks chart that we're going to be looking at here is the median sales price as a percentage of the home's original list price. So whatever the home was originally listed for, on average, what are they selling for as a percentage of that value? So in Orange County, we're at 97.7%, which is down 2.3% from a year ago. Los Angeles County at 98.3%, down 1.7% from a year ago. San Diego County, 98%, down 1.1% from a year ago. And Riverside County at 98.1%, down 1% from a year ago. And so what this is telling us is that on average, homes are selling farther below their original asking price compared to a year ago. And fewer homes in general are selling above the asking price. You know, we're getting less multiple offers and bidding wars that are pushing homes to higher values. And so this is indicative of a market slowing down, which is what we've been seeing in some of the other statistics we looked at as well. And then finally, we can take a look at the home price indexes. And we're going to start with Orange County. And we're looking at the Zillow Home Value Index. And so Zillow's data, this will be for September. They get theirs out a little bit faster. And then we're also going to be looking at Freddie Mac, and their data is going to be from August. So on a month over month, Zillow has Orange County down 0.31%. But year over year, Zillow still has home values up 1.2%. And so you'll notice there are discrepancies between the home price indexes, and that is because there are differences in the way that these organizations calculate it. So if you're interested in learning exactly their formula, you can go on their websites and find that information. Then moving on to Freddie Mac, they have home prices down 0.09% month over month and down 4.1% year over year. Now taking a look at Los Angeles County, Zillow Home Value Index has them down 0.004% month over month, so basically unchanged, and down 0.97% year over year. And then the Freddie Mac Home Price Index has them down 0.09% month over month and down 0.41% year over year. We can take a look at San Diego County next. Zillow has them down 0.37% month over month and down 2.55% year over year. Freddie Mac has them down 0.06% month over month and down 0.43% year over year. And then finally, we have Riverside, where Zillow has them down 0.46% month over month and down 2.1% year over year. Freddie Mac has them down 0.05% month over month and down 0.04% year over year. So, what this is telling us is, in general, home prices are softening, but we're really not seeing a dramatic crash in home prices here in Southern California. If you do track the housing market, you could be reading about home prices really in steep declines, and that would be in other areas of the country, particularly what comes to mind, Phoenix, Austin, Florida. These were some of the markets that saw the biggest run-ups, in 2021, 2022, and even 2023. And so now those prices are starting to come back down to reality a little bit. And in those areas, what's different compared to Orange County is you get a lot more new construction in those markets because they have a lot more room to build. Here in Orange County in Southern California, most of these counties are already almost fully built out. There's not a whole lot of land left to build new homes on, so our supply here is very restricted compared to other markets. Now out in Riverside, there is a little bit more room to build, but as you can see, that market is still holding up fairly well. So that wraps it up here for our Southern California housing market update. As I mentioned before, if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, you can call, text, or email me anytime, and I'd be more than happy to help you out if you have any questions. And please like this video if you enjoyed watching it, and subscribe if you like to stay up to date on the housing market. Bye.